Hello, everyone. I realise this is a really unflattering angle, but I kind of have to hold the Chromebook here for it. I'm less moon-like, more. I don't know what shape my head is now. But today's video is basically going to be going through uh, percentage increases or percentage decreases. Very very short video. It shouldn't be too long at all. This is, in my opinion, one of the most dangerous questions, not in the damage it may do to you in the exam, because it's probably only going to be a 2 or 3 marker, but just in the sense of I really, really do not think many people have any idea how to do percentage increases in the exam. So this maximum, this is going to be for a couple of marks, but it could make the difference. So how to do a percentage increase? I've got a scenario on this screen just now where you're looking at an original score of 60 and then they end up getting a end score of 90. Now, clearly in this case, the percentage increase is 50%. And we need to know how to get to that. But I'm going to go through how. How is it 50%, by the way? Because the difference between them is 30, and 30 is half of 60. But anyway, let's go through this. Now, one thing you have to do, and it's definitely worth writing this down. I shouldn't have put, I'm going to take myself off there. One thing you have to do is be able to do, I just want to make sure that I am actually still recording. Am I actually still recording? Yes, I am still recording. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to work out the difference, and the difference in this case is 30. Okay, then what you have to do is you have to divide 30 by 60, right? And that was supposed to be, we'll ignore that. There we go. We'll get rid of that. There we go. 30 divided by 60. So what you have to do is you have to divide the difference, which is 30, by the original score. Now that actually takes us to 0.5. 0.5 is then times by 100, and that is how you get 50%. So you divide the difference by the original score. If I were to just quickly rub all of this out, whoops. I'll tell you what, can I get rid of that? No, I can't get rid of that. If I were to do all of this again, I would want to see if you could work this out. I'm going to just throw 2 numbers up here for you. The 2 numbers I'm going to go for in this case are, let's go 75, and the end score was 171. Now, what the skill you need to be able to do here is actually work out what the ballpark figure is. So your original score is 75. Now it's clearly gone up by more than 100%. Why? Because 75 times 2 equals 150, and so it's actually gone up over 100% in this case. So the figure we need to end up with, I'm gonna predict off the top of my head here. I'm gonna predict the figure we're probably looking for is probably around the 120 to 125 mark, potentially, off the top of my head. So we need to. Whoops. Fat fingers accidentally press something here. So we need to work out what the difference is, right? Now, if I take 171 and then minus 75 in this case, the difference is 96. So we take 96, we divide it by 75. So 96 divided by 75 equals 1.28. And then we basically times that by 100, and we get times that by 100, and we get 128. Now, if you look at my original guess, that is pretty much a ballpark figure, maybe just outside. But in this case, we've had a percentage increase of 128. Now, in order to do percentage decreases, you do pretty much the exact thing. So if I were to get rid of all of these again, etc., etc. Now you have to do this time and time again. Honestly, next Friday night, just spend your night doing this. If I were to flip this round, let's say, for example, I don't know. I mean, could do anything. Could do anything really here, couldn't you? But let's say you had the original score was 116, and then you ended up with a score of 71. And in this case, obviously, we're going to be looking at percentage decreases. There we go. Good save. So what is the difference between this? What is the difference between this? So 116 take 71, and the difference in this case is 45. Now you take 45 and then you divide it by the original number, which was 116. And in this case, 45 divided by 116 is 0.38. And if you were to times that by 100, you would have, in this case, a 38% decrease. Now, let's have a look. Is that roughly speaking what we were expecting? So if I'm going to try figure out what 50% is, 116 divided by 2 is going to equal, what we're looking at, 58. 58. Now, if 58 is a 50% decrease, right, and we're looking at 71, one way you could do this, I guess, is to work out what 10% would be and add it on. So if I were to take a 10% decrease from 116, it's 11, or 11.6 technically. So that would be 69 would be a 40% decrease. And actually that then takes us quite close to here. Some of you may have kept pace with me there. I mean, don't worry if you just lost pace with me a little bit, but essentially we're looking at that being correct, a 38% decrease. So what I need you to take away, it's very, very simple. To do a percentage increase or decrease, you work out the number one, you work out the difference between the scores. Difference between the scores. Now, step 2, you divide that difference by the original score. And then number 3, you times that by 100 to get your increase or decrease. Very, very brief video today. I hope that makes sense. Again, this is something, honestly, if you just do this right now, you take 2 random figures and then that are relatively close to each other and work out the increase or decrease, you'll have it within 10 minutes and you won't have to revise it for the exam. Please make sure you're going over this. It will be very, very useful.